So a couple of days ago, I made a video talking about this new map called VALGUERO that was created by some German developers. They don't have anything to do with Wildcard, but they submitted this map in the modding contest, and it turns out they came first place. So this map was incredible. You know, the developers from Studio Wildcard loved it, they thought it was amazing, and they ranked it #1 in the modding contest, and therefore I decided to review it. I went over it, and I gave my theory that maybe this map will be added to ARK Survival Evolved. Seeing as it was #1 in the modding contest, I decided, let's shout them out, let's make sure that everyone knows about this. I reviewed the map, and I stated my theory that it could be coming to ARK Survival Evolved, but it wasn't confirmed yet. I want to apologize though to all of you fans and other ARK YouTubers who got very upset with me for not making it clear enough that this wasn't officially coming to ARK Survival Evolved. It was just my theory, and I should have made it more clear, so I apologize once again for that. But today I also want to go over this map, give it a little bit more of, I guess, a review, because I didn't really do that last time. All I did was talk about it and all these specific things. But anyways, let's get right into it and see what VALGUERO has to offer. So this is my first look at VALGUERO on hand in the game. It isn't officially launched yet, but there is the beta out, so if you guys want to go ahead on Steam and download this, click the link down below. I tried it out, and this is some footage that I got from in the game. So here is my first look at VALGUERO. I launched the map, I went in, and I just kind of flew around the whole map to see what VALGUERO had to offer. And the #1 thing that I could tell right off the bat when looking at this map was that this was created from scratch. This wasn't, a map that was created based off of the island or the center or Ragnarok. This was completely different than the rest. And I'm going to get into all that later. But pretty much just at first glance, you can tell this map is so detailed, and it has everything that any other map would have, but it's completely different terrain. So as I started flying around a little bit more, I noticed that there are so many metal spawns on VALGUERO. As you can see right here, there's a lot of metal and a lot of metal nodes all over the place in these little mountain areas and these little valley crevice type rock areas. I don't even know what to call them, but anyways, there's a lot of metal, and that means that on VALGUERO, if they make this an official map, or if players just start playing on this as a modded map, there are going to be so many bases that are just really well designed and well built because of the amount of metal that's on VALGUERO. You can literally make a huge base with the amount of metal that's in just one area. So there's a lot of metal spawns, like I said, but on top of that, there's a lot of cliffs that were added into this. So this map has the most cliffs that I've ever seen on any other ARK map. So I'm going to get into like the new White Cliffs biome, and I believe there's a tundra biome as well that were created from scratch. These developers, the German developers that made VALGUERO, they created them by themselves. They didn't take any ideas from ARK. They just completely made these new biomes from scratch. But anyways, we're going to talk about this interview that I had with one of the German developers over at VALGUERO. So his English isn't the best, but I am going to try to make you guys understand it best I can. So I said, I have a few questions that I will include in the video. What are your end goals for VALGUERO? When did you start developing VALGUERO, and when will it be finished? And he replied with, we want to create a map that is as realistic as possible and beautiful at the same time. We want something new, a map without ocean, and an aberration cave system that looks like real aberration, not like the aberration caves on other maps. We don't want to be better than other maps, we want to be a beautiful and cool map. So from that response, we can kind of tell that these VALGUERO developers are really going for a beautiful map. In ARK Survival Evolved, the maps that are out right now, like Extinction and Scorched Earth and Ragnarok, for example, they're all beautiful maps, but they mainly focused on the PvP and where people will be building and stuff like that, all the resource spawns. But the developers that made VALGUERO, they're focusing more on making the map as beautiful as possible, while still making sure that people can play on it and everything's in the right spots, like base locations and resources. Everything is put together like a full map, but they really mainly focused on making it as beautiful as possible. So this developer also said, we started last February with VALGUERO. It was a fun project, and it wasn't our goal at all to be that public. It was just for fun, and now we are one of the most public maps in ARK. We want to finish VALGUERO by December of 2019. So guys, if you didn't know already, like I said earlier in the video, they were #1 in the modding contest. So it gave them a lot of publicity, and this allowed a lot of players to find out about VALGUERO and how really awesome it is. So that's why they got so much public view, and I'm just trying to make sure that everyone else, mainstream PvPers who aren't really into mods, get to see this map and get to experience it as well. So anyways, let's look at this new biome here that's on screen right now. This is called the White Cliffs. So like I said earlier, this was fully designed by the VALGUERO team. They came up with new different types of structures and rocks and different types of trees to put in it, and they also made it very unique. So as you can see, there's this type of hidden, like, I guess, island in the middle of the cliffs. It's super awesome, but they made sure to make it as, the terrain as uneven as possible, and they did this just for the aesthetic look. It looks so much cooler than just having, like normal types of biomes. They decided to make their own biome and envision it how they wanted. So that's really awesome. But something I also noticed, which I will probably see here in a minute, that they had different types of metal. So they made different textures for the metal spawns that spawn in these white cliffs. I thought that was also really interesting, but everything else is really different in these white cliffs, and I thought that was awesome. But now, let's go ahead and check out the rest of the map. So if you fly really high in the air, you can see that the whole map, it is huge. And on top of that, there's snow biome, there's so many different biomes there. There's the forest, there's the tundra, there's the white cliffs, there's just so many different biomes. And it looks like the whole map is pretty much connected by one large river right in the center. So we're going to go ahead and check out the snow biome here, see what this thing has to offer. It's not much different than all the other snow maps. It looks like they just took pretty much the same textures from other maps and kind of just imported it into here. But, it's nothing new, it's nothing out of the ordinary, but it is pretty cool that they added in the snow biome, just along with everything else in here. But something that I did really want to point out is that the whole map, if you haven't noticed already, is surrounded by freaking mountains. I thought that was awesome. They decided to surround the map in mountains instead of like an ocean like all the other maps. That was really interesting, and I thought that was pretty cool. But another thing that I'm checking out right here is the other new biome that they just made. So this is called the tundra. So as you can see, there's brand new textures for these, all the structures in here, all the generated structures. So you can see the bushes look different, the terrain on the ground, the grass looks different, the rocks look pretty similar, but the trees look a lot different. So they pretty much made their own types of, I guess, structures, and they put it in here in this new biome. And I thought that was really awesome. They did the same thing with the white cliffs. They created their own types of terrain and all that, and they just wanted to make something unique that stood out, just so that they could, stand out from the rest of the other maps in the modding contest. Plus, they wanted to make this map as beautiful as possible. That's what the developer said when I interviewed him. But anyways, as we go along the other side of the map, you can see that there are still all the obelisks that are spread out. So they ported in all the obelisks, but you can see right there, there's a wall barrier. So they're still working on this map, and as you saw earlier when I interviewed the developer, he said that they're trying to make it, fully developed by December. So some parts of the map, if you guys go and download this, they aren't fully developed yet. Like this part right here, it's not done yet, so they're still trying to work on that. Anyways, I really want to know what you guys think about this new map, so make sure you comment down below. Do you want VALGUERO? Do you think it's more beautiful than all the other maps? That's what I really want to know, guys, so comment that down below. I think that this is probably the most beautiful map, just because these developers mainly focused on making it look as pleasing as possible, and that's what their main focus was, instead of going like for the I guess like PvP aspects to it, and they mainly went just for the looks of the map. Anyways, I also wanted to check out how the developers are making VALGUERO, so I thought this was super interesting, and you guys probably will think it's really cool too. I wanted to throw this in here at the end of the video, but pretty much there was a live stream that the VALGUERO developers made, and they were creating the map while live on Twitch. I thought this was so cool, so I have a few different clips from it. They're making like some temple right here. I thought that was so awesome. I've never seen a developer create a game, and probably most of you guys haven't either, and especially ARK Survival. I think it's super awesome to see how these developers make ARK. So as you can see, they have like all these different types of tools and structures on the left hand side, and they can pretty much pick what structure that they want to place down, then they go ahead and just start placing it. So this is where they place all the rocks and trees, and right now he's making like some type of peninsula, and it looks like, I don't know what biome this is. It looks just like either the redwood or the forest biome. But also when they place down these rocks, the texture of it kind of adapts to whatever the biome that they're in. As you can see on top of these rocks that they're placing, it's a little bit brown just because the grass underneath is brown, and I thought that was really awesome. I don't know how they do this, guys. I have no idea how coding and video game development works. I know one of my friends do, but I have no idea, so I'm not even going to try to explain what's happening on screen right now. now. But anyways, that's pretty much it for Valguero, guys. I went over the whole entire thing. I don't think there's any new items that are being added to Valguero right now. All they're doing is focusing on the map itself. No new creatures, nothing like that. All Valguero is a brand new map. Anyways, make sure you guys go check out all the Valguero links in the description if you want to be more notified on it. And anyways, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and leave a like on the video. I will see you guys in my next video, hopefully soon. Peace.